Counting the details in Marvel movies. Detail 1. It is widely known that Tony gets constantly injured during battles. There are two parts of his body that bear the brunt of the injuries most frequently, namely his left arm and left shoulder. Back in Iron Man 1, right after Tony made his debut in the Mark I suit, he accidentally got his left arm stuck in a rock crevice. After narrowly escaping, he crashed heavily into the desert due to running out of energy. Once he got home, he immediately iced his left arm. Later, when fighting Whiplash, his left shoulder was hit by Whiplash several times in succession. In Captain America: Civil War, Tony was brutally smashed by cars that Wanda was manipulating. It was obvious that his left arm was buried under a pile of cars. And the most severe injury happened during the battle with Thanos. You can imagine what it feels like to be grabbed by Thanos' huge hand. Tony was lucky not to have any broken bones. Precisely because his left hand was always getting hurt, when designing the Infinity Gauntlet, Tony specifically made it a right-handed gauntlet. This was probably paving the way for his final farewell. Detail 2. In the movie Deadpool vs. Wolverine, when Deadpool arrived at the Time Variance Authority, he found himself lying in Thor's arms. All Marvel fans know that this scene is modeled after the classic plot where Loki faked his death in Thor: The Dark World. However, there is an easily overlooked yet mysterious detail. In the original version of Thor: The Dark World, Thor had 3 scars on his face. But in the scene at the Time Variance Authority, there is a vertical scar on Thor's face. Bear in mind that this scar didn't appear in the main universe's timeline until later. Could Marvel be dropping an Easter egg for future movies with this movie? Detail 3. The key to reversing the infinity in Avengers Endgame was the time machine invented by Iron Man. But did you know that Tony's inspiration for time travel actually came from Spider-Man? In Avengers Endgame, after Tony finished washing the dishes, he stared at the photo with Spider-Man, lost in thought. Then he suddenly had an epiphany.
Modern inspiration, let's see if it checks out.
His inspiration was to flip the previous model over, and finally, the experiment was successful. Looking back at that photo, you'll notice that the certificate in Peter's hand is held upside down. So it was this photo that gave Tony the inspiration for time travel. Detail 4. How useful is the Thor charger? In the Avengers 1, Tony and Thor had a huge fight. Just when Thor seemed to be on the verge of victory, the next second,
power at 400% capacity.
How about that?
Later, Tony even developed this move to the extreme.